The supernatural superhero known as the Ghost Rider first appeared in Marvel Spotlight number 5 in 1972. In this we meet Johnny Blaze, a man whose life was mired in tragedy. As a boy, his daredevil father, Barton Blaze, defied death one too many times and paid for it with his life. Since his mother wasn't in the picture, after that Johnny was raised by his father's colleague, Crash Simpson, along with his wife Mona and daughter Roxanne. He watched his surrogate family perform their own motorcycle stunts until the fateful day Crash began teaching Johnny Blaze how to ride. Johnny practiced and owned his skills until the age of 15 when tragedy struck once again. Somehow the bike he was riding caught fire during practice. He zoomed away and crashed the bike into a tree as he leapt to safety, but when his surrogate mother ran after him, the gas tank exploded, fatally injuring her. Before she passed away, Mona Simpson asked Johnny to promise never to ride in the show, a vow that Crash and Roxanne never heard. And so for 5 years, Johnny refused to ride without explanation, causing Crash and Roxanne to assume that he was being cowardly. This was until Roxanne stumbled upon him training in secret. Johnny revealed to her why he couldn't ride in the show, and the bond the two shared shifted from the familial to the romantic, which will never not be weird to me. While Johnny didn't join in the show, he did continue to help behind the scenes. Things seemed to be going well for the Crash Simpson Cycle Spectacular. They even booked Madison Square Garden. But at the height of his success, Crash Simpson received devastating news from his doctor. His days were indeed numbered due to a terminal illness. Both Crash and Roxanne wanted Johnny to take over Crash's legacy, but Johnny intended to honor the dying wish of his surrogate mother, even at the cost of his relationship with Roxanne. Desperate to save Crash's life, Johnny decided that he had only one place left to turn: Satan! That night, Johnny Blaze performed a supernatural ritual to summon the Prince of Darkness, and sure enough, the devil appeared, offering to grant his wish in exchange for undying fealty. And so the deal was made, saving Crash from his deadly disease, but the devil swore to someday return and collect his debt. In spite of all this, it seemed that Johnny's literal deal with the devil was all for naught. For thinking it to be his final performance, Crash Simpson decided to attempt a nearly impossible feat of jumping 22 cars on his motorcycle. The crowd watched in disbelief as Crash Simpson flew over the cars, only to drop early and slam into them, dying on impact. Seeing the mangled body of his surrogate father before him broke something in Johnny Blaze that night. Despite his promise, and despite Roxanne's protests, Blaze hopped aboard his bike and attempted the jump himself. And somehow, he made it across. Despite the show of skill and bravery, Roxanne was stunned by Johnny's disregard for his own safety. She couldn't continue and left him alone. Later in his dressing room, the devil came to Johnny Blaze, ready to claim his soul. However, before he could, Roxanne returned. As it turns out, Roxanne had studied Blaze's books on Satan while he wasn't looking, and had memorized an incantation to send the Dark One back to hell. While she made it in time to save Johnny's soul, she was too late to save him from the devil's curse. For that night, for the first time, Johnny Blaze began his horrifying transformation. Hellfire scorched away his flesh, burning him to the bone and changing him into the terrifying creature known as the Ghost Rider. While the morning sun would return him to normal, it seemed Blaze was doomed to spend his nights as a demon. As the years went on, more was revealed about the nature of the Ghost Rider, much of which is recapped in Ghost Rider number 68. We learned that what the devil actually did was bond Blaze's soul with a demon, a spirit of vengeance. While at first Blaze could control the Ghost Rider, the demon continued to grow stronger and asserted control of their infernal form. The Ghost Rider also began implementing his most potent weapon with his magical hellfire. Not only could he manipulate the mystical flames, he could even use them to conjure a fiery motorcycle. In addition, the rider could torment people with a torturous flame that burned the soul but left the body uninjured. Blaze was cursed to become a spirit of vengeance, punishing the guilty by any means necessary. Ghost Rider number 68 also clarifies that Blaze first took an interest in the occult after Mona's death, and while he never used what he learned then, it did lead to him contacting the devil in an attempt to save Crash Simpson from his deadly disease. A devil which, here, is depicted to look a lot more like Mephisto, a lord of hell and major antagonist of the Silver Surfer. However, Mephisto isn't the only character to use the name Satan, and there is some contention as to which one Blaze made his deal with, as it has been retconned several times, and any one of them could be lying when they claim to take credit. They're all devils after all. In Ghost Rider number 76, Mephisto claims responsibility, and we also learn that the demon bonded to Johnny Blaze is named Zarathos. The following issue relayed some of Zarathos' backstory, explaining that he was once summoned by a Native American tribe who provided him with a steady supply of souls in exchange for power and conquest. Mephisto took notice of Zarathos' growing power and the fact that he was consuming souls that could be destined for hell. After a beautiful princess was chosen to be the next sacrifice to Zarathos, Mephisto appeared to her prince and offered him a way to save her at the cost of his own soul. The man agreed, and when Zarathos came to claim the princess, the prince appeared between them. The demon grabbed the prince and attempted to steal the soul he no longer had. The failure and subsequent wave of doubt that washed over his followers weakened Zarathos long enough for Mephisto to appear and banish him to hell until the fateful day that he became the Ghost Rider. And that's that. If you liked this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button and subscribe for more marvelous content. Special thanks to the Inner Demons podcast for recommending Ghost Rider number 68, so check them out in the description below, along with links to my Twitter and Patreon. So until next time, true believers, Excelsior!